boys and gals. Hey, everybody, welcome to Starting 11. Welcome to an explosive edition of Starting 11, you know what I mean? Good old Guy Fawkes night in England. Something's going on in America, I'm sure, No big whoop down there. Hopefully, everybody's done their civic duty, as they would. No Adelia, no Ferris. This week, you're stuck with good old Uncle Snark. I believe Adelia and Ferris currently having a gunpowder plot to explode Canada Studios North here. So good luck to them, I can say. Hopefully they have as much luck as Guy Fawkes did. But guys, we're not talking fireworks here. We're not talking, certainly won't be talking politics. We're talking Matchweek 10 in the good old English Premier League. And starts off with a doozy. And all you poor gooners, we're going to tear the Band-Aid off this right away. Alexander Isak of the good ship Newcastle scoring a 12th minute goal. And that'd be all the scoring there'd be in this whole entire match. Newcastle's beating Arsenal at St. James Park. What to say about Arsenal here? They seem content in possession. Never truly looked a threat. Never. I believe they had one a ball go at the post. So excuse me. They had one go at the post. And Declan Rice. $100 million Rice. £1 million Rice. Has a clear opportunity. End of the match at the far post, but heads it wide. What's up with Arsenal? They have not looked sharp. Now, they've had a couple bad breaks. You know what I mean? There's been an injury or two, but their back line was together again here. They had their twin towers back. They had Gabriel and Saliba back for this match. Maybe playing Party at a position, playing him at right back. And then you have to look to maybe some of these injuries have been mounting. They might be looking better as they start coming back on. Martin Odegaard, I know, has returned to full practice. Now, I don't know if he's going to be in the lineup against Chelsea or if he'll be able to be coming off the bench, perhaps. But they need an injection of something. I guess Calafiori being out too, but Calafiori's from the that back end and stuff like that. Yeah, well, maybe. The problem with them wasn't the defending. The defending was fine. The problem was getting something together offensively where they've looked stale, especially after good starts from Havertz as well. And Martinelli looked like he was starting to get things turned around, and there wasn't much there. But Bukayo Saka needed a goal in this game. They couldn't find it. So, not it hasn't been a great stretch for Arsenal here of late, but a lot of people saying their chances are over. They got 28 weeks of this left, guys. There's 28 weeks of this left. It's plenty of time. Teams are going to fall. Liverpool, we'll get to them. You honestly think they're going to just stick around there on top? Are you folks mad? No, I don't. I don't think they're going to be around, but we'll see what happens. 28 weeks. They get another week off here too. So if Odegaard isn't back for this coming match against Chelsea, they do have the international break, and I'm sure that Arsenal won't let him go play. So they'll have that extra week of rest, and so he should be back in time for their match coming back from internationals. But let's keep moving on because I am here with my 3.5-month-old co-host, and Lord only knows how long she's going to stay out of trouble while I'm talking here. Unfortunately, no one else around. I'll take care of her. So kind of crossing my fingers that Aspen can keep it together here. So far, yes. Now, speaking of getting things together, that wasn't maybe not one of my great segues. You know what I mean? But Southampton gets a win, everybody. The late goal through Adam Armstrong in the 85th minute. First one of the year, beating Everton. Of course, it's going to be Everton, right? Everton is, as of late, not so bad. So let's give a congratulations here to Aaron Ramsdale, who was very good in this match, making 5 saves. Terrific one off of Michael Keane, off a header from real close, and like the way he held on to, looks like he holds the ball onto the post there and manages to push it off the other side and out. The announcer saying, "Oh, that's in the back of the net." It's like, it's on the side of the net. I don't know what the back of the net. It's how long do you think this net is? Because the ball's going well behind the net by this point, but whatever, that's fine. Beto had come on after an hour and showed promise for Everton. He had put the one off the post. Has another one called back from VAR. Yeah, this goal by Armstrong is just it's an example of Everton's back line just falling asleep. They had been better, but yeah, they took a play off here. Ends up biting them in the butt. So congratulations to Russell Martin. Your first Premier League win. That's a big deal. Moving on. Speaking of a team that's a big deal. How's Nottingham Forest doing? Oh, my goodness. An incredible start to the season for Forest. Chris Wood, speaking of incredible starts to the season. It's a header to start the scoring. His 8th goal of the campaign. His 6th goal in 6 games, for goodness sakes. And then we go to the second half. And the second minute of first half extras, actually. And it's already on a yellow card for Edson Alvarez. And he decides he's going to take on Anthony Elanga, who has room wide on the right side. Decides he's going to slide, tackle him. Does not get any of the ball. Gets plenty of Anthony. His second yellow. So West Ham in a pickle. In a pickle here, guys, having to play the second half. A man down, and in his absence, it's Callum Hudson-Odoi. My buddy, Callum Hudson-Odoi. Scoring in the 65th minute. Lovely little curling shot from just outside the box. And Ola Aina gets another one. I guess the third goal for Forest. An absolute rocket from outside the box as well. Julian Lopetegui's side looks like garbage. They look like garbage. They're awful. How's Forest? Forest up to 3rd. Whoever thought this? Remember last year? All the complaining, all the whining. Well, maybe it's all come to fruition for them. They're getting the breaks now. And, well, to be fair, they're making their own breaks. They're playing well. They're playing very well. And there's more news for Forest coming out the pitch. And more news, actually, from Arsenal as well. And that's Edu's step down as Arsenal sporting director to join the Marinakis group, which includes, of course, Forest and Olympiacos. Pretty interesting development there. Edu, I think they said he's been on the job since 2021. He helped bring guys like Declan Rice and stuff like that over there. So maybe they won't miss him too much. No, I'm sure they will. Yeah. It's an odd thing. Like, I don't know if this, like, he's trying to be like the how Jurgen Klopp's at Red Bull. This, Edu's going to be for the Marinakis group. The Marinakis group, the owner, Marinakis. Not to, he's in a bit of a pickle as well as he's got some troubles brewing off the pitch. But that's not for the show right now. For this show, we'll move on to the Molyneux. Wolves taking on Crystal Palace. Oh boy. Latest edition of a toilet bowl. 20th place Wolves. Crystal Palace just above the line in 17th. They're splashing around towards the bottom, but we do get 20 pretty fun minutes of football between these two. Starting off, and this is in the second half. I believe this is about 60 minutes in, guys. And speaking of old pals, Trevor Chalobah. Congratulations to him getting his first goal for Palace since coming over from the good ship Chelsea, taking advantage. It's just an awful clearance by Craig Dawson and from a Will Hughes cross. You got to do better. He just kind of puts it over to the side, and everyone stopped to look at him. What are you going to do? But Wolves equalized just 6 minutes later. This time, it's an awful challenge by Trevor Chalobah. What do you know? He sends Mateus Cunha in 2-on-1 with Jurgen Strand Larsen, who gets the pass, nutmegs Jose Sa, makes a score. Nutmegs Dean Henderson on goalie. Nutmegs Dean Henderson make it 1-1. And Joe Gomez will put Wolverhampton ahead just 5 minutes later, placing puts the Palace captain and another former Chelsea Academy alum, Mark Gahey, to tie it as well. That's from a corner in the 77th minute. So 17 minutes of exciting football between two teams. You didn't expect much from. And at least you got this. 20 minutes, 2-2 draw. Wolves still yet to taste victory this season. And there's no way. I thought that we'd ever say those words, especially 10 weeks in. Poor Wolves. Okay. Now, I'd say this is probably the controversial match of the week. We're going to go to Ipswich Town. They're taking on Leicester. Another battle for the bottom here. And they're two not terrific sides. Ipswich looking for their first win. I will say this will be a day that will live in infamy in Ipswich Town. Tractor Boys open the scoring. Okay. Fantastic one-time volley from Lee Davis in the 55th minute. Great pass by Sam Morrissey to get it to him. Now, we're going to jump ahead to the 76th minute. Connor Chapman has the ball for Ipswich. He puts the ball to his left boot. Abdul Fattah just runs through him. Now, it isn't like they were there together. Chapman has the ball. He puts it to his left boot. Here comes Fattah into him. Just tries to go right through him. Tim Robinson watches the whole thing and waves it on. Super courageous Stuart Atwell decides, I don't see. Oh my God, this dog. He decides, there's no true, clear, and obvious error, which is bananas. Absolutely bananas. He absolutely goes through him. He goes through him, guys. He's never making a play for the ball. Never even looked down at it. His one goal was to go through it. Incidental contact. They were just coming together, he said. Baloney. To make matters worse, we got Calvin Phillips on a yellow card. Now, some people said he was lucky not to get a red card, and he got the first yellow in the first half. He gets a second yellow here from the clearance. It was Ricardo Pereira attempts to make a clearance of the ball just outside the box. Calvin Phillips comes awful close to him. Looks like he's going to challenge him for the ball, but, lets up. Still makes some contact. Pereira makes an incredible meal out of it. But, I think it's... Some people are pissed about this being a second yellow. They're saying it has to be something special to be a second yellow. It's like, well, it depends on the teams, I guess. Because I thought this was worthy of a second yellow. I thought for sure Chapman earned a penalty. Like it's It's a ridiculous call. It's a ridiculous call that he didn't get it. And just to have those things go bang, bang within seconds, within 10 seconds of each other, 12 seconds. A real kick to the gut for Ipswich. They have to play rest of the match 10 men down, and in second halftime, because you knew it was coming, Jordan Ayew gets fantastic wall pass from Jamie Vardy in the box. Jamie Vardy back, healing it down to him, just a touch. Fantastic, spectacular. Ayew goes in alone. He'll score. He'll beat Muric. Muric, fantastic all game. It sucks that this is how it's going to end up for him, letting in a goal late, but the play was fantastic. There wasn't much you can do. Because I was watching that ref watch with Dermot Gallagher. This guy was a moron when he was on the field, maybe more of a moron now. To have Robinson's back and to actually say that he wouldn't have called it a penalty either. What are you talking about? You coward. Why do they have these people on? They give you nothing. To have any kind of ref, like that whole thing, yeah, any kind of ref watch thing where you have a former referee on there, it's bullshit. You know, they're all buddies. No one wants to show up their mates. You know, we heard about this even as far back as 2 years ago with Anthony Taylor, Spurs, and Chelsea. Ridiculous. Ipswich Town deserves to be angry. I know Kieran McKenna was very angry, but you know, nothing you can do about it now. Yeah, the PGMOL is a detriment to the sport. We should just get amateurs to do these games. I'm sure they'd actually, you know, try and live up to the sport. Like, what are these guys doing? Some kind of glad handing each other. So strange. They're a strange bunch. The referees of the English Premier League should be the greatest league in the world. Best players. Just terrible officiating. So ends the weekly rant on the PGMO. Oh, it looks like the gunpowder has been loaded into casks. Adelia is, you know, trying to set up her alibi here by saying hello, Adelia. Yes, of course, we've said it a million times, and she's saying it now too. It's terrible. They are terrible at their job. They are a disgrace. Speaking of disgrace, I'm just kidding. This one's fine. Liverpool beats Brighton. It's at Anfield. They needed second half goals from Cody Gakpo and Mo Salah to do it, and the Mo Salah one was quite nice. And they did it about 2 minutes apart. I believe it was a 70th and 72nd minute. Ferdi Ketegulu. I hope I said his name right. He gets his first for Brighton, his first in the Premier League. Came over from Fenerbahce in the off season. Tough to beat Liverpool at home for sure, and they held on to a 1-0 lead for almost an hour. I think it was an incredible amount of time. So they fought bravely and lost. You know, don't feel bad for Brighton. They got a whole bunch of money they didn't spend, so I have no idea. Anyways, Liverpool lift themselves back up on top of the Premier League, but City still has to play Bournemouth. Now, yeah, the Brighton match was good. Yeah, it was a tight match. So there you go. They played well. Just didn't beat Liverpool. Liverpool's good. Yeah, it's not Arne Slot's team. It's still Jurgen Klopp's team. He just gets to put his name on the, sign back of the check and put it in. Good for you. Good for you, Arne Slot. It'll take a long time for you to get much respect for what you're doing until you actually bring in players to work. There you go. All right. They had a good team to begin with, who were also very good last year to start the season and dropped. Well, it's going to happen again. Do not believe in Liverpool. All right. Speaking of believe, I believe the City in a bit of a bad stretch here. They're in a bit of a bad stretch. They had trouble with Southampton getting 1-0 lead. They go and they lose to Spurs in the Carabao Cup. And then Saturday happens at Vitality Stadium, or as they say in England, probably Vitality. They don't say vibrant. Like if you ever hear them say the word vitamin. Anyways, in an absolute stunner, Bournemouth is on the front. Bournemouth showed zero fear against these guys. They were up for it. They were pressing. They were making them work. Even defending. They were tight. They were solid. They worked together as a group. Bournemouth looked fantastic for a team that was out of the top 10 at this time. But they beat they're coming off a draw against Villa. They beat Arsenal this year. They got a good team, and they're putting it together, and they're going through a real good stretch right now. Anyways, it takes 9 minutes, and this is after a real good chance is already missed by Bournemouth. But 9 minutes in, Kirkash gets the ball into the box. Antoine Semenyo spins away from Jasko Gavardia, who had his hand on a shirt. There was no way the ref was going to call that, though. You know that, because guess who the ref was, guys? It's their old pal. Anyways, we're going to talk about that a little later. He gets the ball. He just spins away, finds a little bit of room, and puts the ball in the far corner. Ederson can't get there. 1-0 to Bournemouth, and that will go through to the second half. And in the 64th minute, Evan Nilsson puts the hosts ahead by 2. Evan Nilsson, a name we've been mentioning lots over the last few weeks. Anyways, again, another fantastic pass by Kirkash. And this time, Evan Nilsson stretching out as far as his tippy toes could stretch to get a toe onto the ball, just to send it the other way past Ederson, who was locked in his steps, couldn't do anything about it, goes past him. 2-0. Bournemouth leads City. City wouldn't get a shot on goal until the 80th minute of this game. They had a couple of good chances. Phil Foden missing. I think Phil Foden missing a couple of times from not too distant future, distant space. But a lot of their shots are also coming in. Didn't look very dangerous. Erling Haaland will have a couple of chances late. We'll talk about that in a sec. But everything could be seen. There was nothing coming in super fast. There was no there wasn't no making the goaltender move. Everything was just at them. Bournemouth played a nice, simple game, and a game that hopefully people will mimic and play against City until they get Rodri back. I don't know if the year's Golden Boot winner is going to, Ballon d'Or winner is going to make that big a difference in the way City plays, but they look like a different team without him, which is crazy to think that Rodri was the guy keeping it all together. Is banana. Anyways, 82nd minute, Gavardio rises up, gets to a Gundogan cross. Also, since Gundogan came back, they haven't looked very well either. Maybe it's all Gundogan. Yeah, who knows? Anyways, Erling Haaland blows 2 chances in rapid succession that could have tied the match, but they stayed out. Congratulations to Bournemouth. You beat the title holders. A kick to the shin for them, which is nice to see. I wonder if Erling Haaland will stay humble after this. I hope he does. Michael Oliver couldn't save him this time. Bournemouth just didn't give him anything to call. They played a clean, fast match. They were solid defensively. They moved together as a group. What do you want? It was a great game. They played a great game. Congratulations to Ariel and how you put your team together. Now, City, speaking of, so they lost the Carabao Cup to Tottenham. They lose this match to Bournemouth. And as we record this today on the 5th of November, they have lost 4-1 to Sporting. Champions League. Now, of course, Sporting is going to lose their coach in a couple of weeks. He's going to head over to Manchester United, Ruben Alvarez. Victor Gyökeres scores a hat trick for Lisbon. I wonder where he might end up. He can join the hundreds of millions of pounds they have wasted on that bench, because we're going to talk about that United game in a bit. I don't want to talk about it very long. It wasn't a great match for, well, we'll talk about it. Because first, we have another match to talk about. First Sunday match we'll talk about. That's Spurs and Villa. The first half, Morgan Rogers scoring for Aston Villa from corner. That's all they could manage. They only managed the one goal. Spurs get booed off the pitch first half. So, and Costa, probably a little upset by this. He's how he wins trophies in his second season every time and never fails. So, and they did just beat City. So, yeah, has a little bit of a talking to with his club. And they come out looking much better. And Brendan Rodgers, I always say Brendan Rodgers. It's always going to be in my head, guys. Brendan Johnson gets some level. Great pass by Son Heung-min. Son Heung-min will then get replaced in the 56th minute for Betancourt. It doesn't mean anything. Betancourt, I don't believe, added much to the game. But Son looked very puzzled by this. And I thought as soon as Son went out, Spurs looked much better. And especially Dom Solanke. And Dom Solanke needed to get going. I think we were just complaining about him last week, or complaining, making fun. Whatever. I'm always going to have a little, even though he plays for Spurs, I'll have a little soft spot for Dom Solanke, former Chelsea lad. He gets 2 goals. He gets a brace within 4 minutes. At a boy. And then James Maddison will score a pretty simple looking free kick. He gets a free kick from in close. It's going to look good, but it's just I don't even know if it had that much power to it, but well placed, just over the wall in the side of the net. You got people looking at him, never reacting. It's 4-1 to Spurs, and that's how it's going to end. Villa is going to drop out of top 4. They're going to go down to 6. Spurs are going to move all the way up to 7. So we've talked about Spurs not having great sweat, but it's a weird year in the Premier League where they get a big one like this. They can move right up to 7th, and that's 2 good matches for them in a row. In all competitions, guys. I'm gonna say, I get they were Villa was searching for a goal, but that second half defending was terrible, especially after the hour. Just to let the way Dom Solanke was in there, they looked terrible. Their defending looked terrible. Keeper looked terrible. He's goalkeeper of the year somehow again. Whatever. Yep. Congrats to Spurs then, I guess. 2 teams I can't stand. Can't stand them. Can't stand Villa. And then there's Spurs, the worst. Anyways, moving on. Another team I can't stand. And my team. And United taking on Chelsea. It's at Old Trafford. So, I believe I chose a win. I'll always choose a win. I was just, when it comes down to it, I just hope for a result at Old Trafford. To get a point is fine. Chelsea get a point. Okay. Chelsea was the better team through the match, sure. But did they ever look great? I think Man U just looks bad. And probably were bad. But I don't think this Chelsea squad, Chelsea should have won the game. They should have pressed harder. They should have won. I don't know what's going on. There's that red card that was only a yellow. Guy gets his boots up on Cole Palmer. You shrug. You say it's United at Old Trafford. These are the calls they've always gotten. You just have to move past it. But yeah, Chelsea, like Neto, had some good chances, putting them wide and stuff like that. But I think Neto was a good playmaker, but I think his finishing leaves a lot to be desired. I have no faith in his finishing ability right now, but great passer and he's a great playmaker. So as with Nicholas Jackson's goal last week, so good. Just the way he leaps over guys, he could play well. It's just that finish. I just don't see the finish in him. And you want to have more out of your other guys and stuff like that. Noni Madueke, you want more from him, of course, when Misha comes on. Cole Palmer just got marked out of the game. Again, that's happening too often now. They're going to have to do something where they can fill or they can get some space. Do you move him over to the right wing, put people in, maybe have him and Joe Felix on the pitch at the same time? There's a lot of interesting things you can do. I thought defensively they played pretty good. The United goal, maybe Wesley Fofana misplays the cross in. It goes to Højlund. Højlund, when he's bringing it in, I just don't think Sanchez should have been not bothered by it. But the way the way the ball was going out, if you stay in your box, you have two guys there. But he does a ridiculous challenge on Højlund. Højlund tries to, reach the top shelf with the cookies. He jumps so high in the air for someone that supposedly had his feet taken out from under him. Anyways, it was a foul. I'm not going to say it wasn't. So they put Bruno Fernandes on the spot to give him his charity first goal of the year. He gets it. 4 minutes later, at least Chelsea didn't, Chelsea last year doesn't score this next goal. They kind of, United's going to bring everybody back. And this is going to come from a corner. And the clearance is going to come out to Caicedo at the top of the box. And he just puts a hard, low shot at net. It finds a way in, away from everybody. I don't, Onana maybe a little slow getting to it, but a nice goal by Caicedo. Caicedo, for everybody who complained, but Moises Caicedo's price tag, he is worth every penny of it now. It took a little while. Last year for sure, nope. Maybe towards the end of last year things were coming together, but this year he has been lights out, fantastic. He has owned the midfield for Chelsea. I do like that Enzo has kept the other Enzo off as of late, saying you have to earn. It doesn't matter how much you make him or what you've done. You have to earn your spot on this squad. Lavia is healthy and he's looked good. I still don't know why we have Dewsbury Hall. I think that was a ridiculous signing. I don't know how we get rid of him now. Who would want him? Maybe we could send him back to Leicester. Maybe there's some friends there. It's like, oh, we'll take him over at Leicester. You have to sell him for a loss. I just have no idea what he's there for. For like coming off the bench for the B squad. I have no idea. No idea. He is a player that doesn't make any sense to me. But to wrap this up, because I've been going on again. I wanted to do this a little quick so I can get this little doggy out of here. Want to say hello to the? Hold on. There she is, chilling out. Thank goodness. Now, Chelsea with a single point. They could have moved as high as third, but they'll take the 1 point. Now, 1 point vaults them over Arsenal back into more traditional territory, with the exception of, say, Forest being there. But, Chelsea ahead of Arsenal. It's the way it's supposed to be, guys. Things are kind of falling into place. Things are getting a little more to normal. City's fallen back. Won't be anything in a couple of years. Nobody will even remember them in 100 million years. Liverpool, it's going to do Liverpool things. We'll see what the Almirant's going to come into United, but come into what? He's going to come into what? Still the same people who can't do anything. Garnacho's shots in that match were awful. Those were ladybug shots. Is anyone ever worried when Garnacho's over the ball? Or even Hoyland? Nobody is. No one. Anyways, I kept the flag up because, Chelsea got the point and a point at Old Trafford. And I've said it again. It can be difficult for some reason for Chelsea because they give these dum-dums way too much respect. But yeah, no jersey. Jerseys are for winners, guys. Come on, let's face it. Fourth place, that's pretty nice. I honestly don't know if I really expected that, especially so soon this season. Now, one last match. Speaking of things you don't expect, we're going to go to that other team that says they're in Fulham. I think there's only one team in Fulham, but you guys all know that. A little Monday action at Craven Cottage. The visiting Bees. Of course, this is the London derby you guys have been waiting for all week. Bees come in, and they help themselves to a 1-0 lead. Courtesy, Vitaly Jeanette. Scores from well out. Is he 24 yards out when he puts his ball in? Maybe. It's a fantastic shot. So, Bees take the lead. It's lasts until through regular time, through the 90 minutes. Brentford still up this one. And then in the second extra minute, Harry Wilson scores the craziest back heel goal that he jumps, back heels it. Somehow it lobs perfectly over Mark Flecken and in the net. Top corner. Strange one. Fulham have pulled even in extra time, and that's how it would end. It would end, except a couple minutes later, Harry Wilson, once again, this time Antonio Robinson finds him coming in, crosses the ball into the center of the box. Wilson's there. Header's there. The ball goes almost the exact same place as his first goal went. To absolutely lift the roof off, if there was a roof, at Craven Cottage. A 2-1 victory for Fulham. 2 goals in extra time. 2 by Harry Wilson. Well, people who came off the bench for this one. Late game dramatics. Fulham is back into the top 10. Brentford falls down to 13th. And the one note I wrote about this is Thomas Frank gets consideration for clubs like Man United and Chelsea. How? The only way I could think of is because he's a coach. That's it. He's a coach. He's not a manager. I don't think he's not going to bring his people, and he may have some suggestions, but he leaves everything to the sporting director. So sporting directors like that. They like to make sure that they have control of the club and they don't have to share it. And that's why Potter's gone. He was going to have his own thing. Like Thomas Tuchel was gone. Graham Potter gone because he sucked. Let's face it. And Lamps had to deal with all the bananas, and I don't know if he was all that interested. Looks like Frankie Lampard might go to Roma, which is crazy, and I hope he does. Will I ever wish ill will to Frank Lampard? Are you nuts? If Chelsea can't win it, why can't Frank? That's all I'm going to ever say. Okay. Moving on. Guys, we do predictions every week. The week before, yours truly had a remarkable victory. I Just 5. I guess half of the matches, right? Maybe some other people in the week didn't do as well as they normally do, and I, snuck in there, took advantage. Sure. Then came this week, guys. I got. Are you ready for this? 2 right. But so did Ferris. So that means the winner was Adelia. It was 3 correctly guessed. So there you are. Now, we're going to do this again. This time it's going to turn out in my favor. I have a feeling I'm going to get every single one correct. Adelia was good enough to send me her predictions as well. So let's go through them real quick before we end the show today. And guys, hopefully this whole thing has worked out well. We tried a new thing here where we just have to hit one button. It's going to start and end the show with the stuff. So I'm hoping everything is up to par, because it started and it actually took a few seconds for it to get going, so I was a little worried, but went. So hopefully at the end it's going to work. But before we get there, first match this weekend, Brentford and Bournemouth. Adelia's gone with Bournemouth. I went with the draw. I think just Brentford at home. I think they're very similar teams, even though Bournemouth has been on a very good run of late. I think that one's deserving of a draw. Of course, Adelia disagrees. She thinks Bournemouth's good form will get them 3 points this weekend. Palace and Fulham. We each decided Fulham was good enough to beat Palace, who, let's face it, just can't score. West Ham, Everton. Adelia went with West Ham. I thought maybe this week was just an outlier for Everton, so I think I picked a draw. I think each team has enough to score a couple goals against each other, but really, who wants to win that match? To tell you the truth. Wolves and Southampton. Adelia's picking Southampton. It's at the Molineux. If Wolves are going to get a victory this year, it has to be this week. So I picked Wolves. They don't beat Southampton. Wow. Oh, wow. Okay, moving on. Brighton and City. City should right the ship here, I think, even though Brighton has been playing very well. I think City should be a motivated team. But, what does Adelia think? She thinks City as well. Let's not be crazy. Yeah, we'll see. It's at the Amex, so there could be it could be ripe for upset there as well. But we'll just say we should go with what should happen, and City should win that match. Go to Liverpool, Villa. It's at Anfield. Does Liverpool ever play away games? Every time they play seems to be at Anfield. Whatever. Delia says, well, yeah, they play at home, and this is why they're going to win. I said, well, maybe it's about time they drop points. Maybe Villa is ashamed of their second half performance against Spurs, as anyone should be. They take it to Liverpool. I think they can get a win here. So I picked Liverpool. Mind you, guys, I only got 2 right last week. So look at that. Man U, Leicester. We each pick United. It'd be funny. It should be funny if Leicester gets a result against United. But yeah, we're each going to pick United to get the 3 points at Old Trafford. Forest, Newcastle. Adelia went with a draw. Forest in a very good run of form. Newcastle, you don't know what you're going to get, but have looked very good in the last couple of games in all competitions, mind you. Beating Chelsea in Carabao Cup. Beating Arsenal, but I went with Forest. Adelia went with a draw. I went with Forest because they're at home. They do 2 things. They used to only do 2 things: win at home and score on the counter attack. Well, I think they're going to win at home, guys. Spurs and Ipswich. Yeah, we each have Spurs. It's at the you know, the sewage plant in North London. And the final match of the week. Your heavyweight matchup. The year so far. Adelia and Ferris's Arsenal. Got to travel to the bridge to take on your hero, your idol, Snark's Chelsea. Surprisingly, Adelia has chosen Arsenal, whilst I have decided to pick Chelsea to win at home against a struggling Arsenal club. Chelsea may not have played incredibly well at home of late, but they always seem to play Arsenal good at home. So we'll see. Yes, another fantastic week. Then, of course, the international break. Then some changes will be made, especially in Manchester. But we'll talk about those later. Guys, thanks so much for watching here on Starting 11. Quickly, Adelia says that the Arsenal and Chelsea predictions were the least surprising of the night. Yeah, what are we going to do? Let's say, I'm going to say the other team's going to win. No. Baloney. Guys, coming up here. Let's Get Ready Network on the entertainment side. We got the Rewatchers Council. That's the full 144 episode rewatch of Buffy the Vampire Slayer that Adelia and I do with our pal Ferris. Sometimes we have special guests like Brendan Marr come in. Revelations this week. Follow up to fantastic episodes of Buffy and Homecoming and Bank Ending. We got Revelations. It's a fine episode, on those levels. No, but it's fine. We're gonna have a good time talking about it anyways. No Let's Get Ready Network after Snark this weekend. We'll be back on the night. Probably talk about Agatha All Along finale, which was super fun, and then whatever else we want to talk about. We only have to have something for the thumbnail, and then we'll talk about something else. You know how it goes. Lots of things going on the channel. Lots of post-credit things that you can go back and watch all the post-credits they did for every episode of Agatha. Then, of course, Ring of Power also had post-credits. Penguin. There's plenty of stuff. Tons of stuff on the entertainment side. Over on the highlights, of course, there's Good Friends, Better Rivals with Caleb and Ferris. That's where they talk about the Giants and the Cowboys. How depressing is that? Also betting the NFL with Caleb. Lots of good stuff. Playoff Beers will be back at some point. We'll talk hockey. Winnipeg Jets have been fantastic this year. Love it. I love it. Guys, I just noticed that I didn't even turn my ring light on. So how about that? So you guys got me a little more au naturel this week. Anyway, thank you so much for watching and or listening. We're going to see if this thing works now. If not, I could probably figure out how to end the show otherwise, guys. But I appreciate that you spent time with me. And until next time, to all y'all, make sure if you're Americans, go vote. And if it's, after the 5th year and you didn't vote, why not? Go do your duty. You only have one job. One job as a citizen. That's it, guys. It's pretty simple. Guys, thank you. And until then, bye-bye. Let's see if this